Hello, folks. Howdy doody. It is a great Friday evening. I am enjoying maxing and relaxing, all cool. And just truly at a place of peace and contentment. And just want to lay back, kick it, and talk to you guys about the school year and things that I've learned throughout this school year, and how even as an adult I'm still learning and working on my spirit of discernment. And I'm trying to learn, become more spiritual and work, and do what I'm supposed to do. But it's so interesting that there are so many Nebuchadnezzars on this earth, and then you got Lucifer walking around, and it's just, you know what, guys, I am so happy that I have individuals around that truly care and truly want to see things done in decency and in order. And so it just makes me reflect on the school year, and it makes me reflect on, the children. So the first thing I want to talk about is making sure that you are truly educating your kids on morals, integrity, and ethics. One thing that I witnessed a lot this year is I witnessed a lot of kids plagiarizing papers. Plagiarism is bad, but it's worse, when you plagiarize and it's plagiarism. Okay, so we got to make sure that our kids understand what plagiarism is. The other thing is, tell your kids to stop videotaping themselves fighting on social media. It's ridiculous. Assault and battery, baby. Assault and battery. Okay? Assault and battery. You need to understand that, okay? But on an MBG note, MBG is really, really in a great place, guys. Like, we are blessed and highly favored, and we definitely want to keep you abreast of things that are going on our journey. There's a lot of things coming up, and we won't reveal everything, but please know that when you are faithful over a few things, He will make you ruler over many. Now, what that means is you have to strive to be like Jesus and walk in His image and in His likeness. Now, you can't walk around thinking you Jesus, because the last person that thought that they were God, they became a fallen angel. And they've been in distress ever since. So what I'm saying is, you need to make sure that you are striving to be like Him and not be Him, because you can't be God. You know what I'm saying? And I think some of us, there are those of us who struggle with narcissism and histrionic personality disorder. And because we struggle with those severe, extreme mental health disorders, we commit crimes. And what you don't realize is that a lot of people that commit crimes, they have an undiagnosed mental health disorder. And it's not excusing criminal behavior, but generally individuals who commit crimes, they have some form of mental health diagnosis that has not, been solidified. And so with that being stated, I just want you guys to truly think about, where you are. Educate your kids on what's going on. Make sure that your kids are aware of their environment. Make sure that your kids are understanding how to research, and make sure that things that are presented to them, make sure that those things are done in decency and in order. Hey, Sigourney, how are you? And so with that being said, it's going to bring me to my next statement. Hey, Onika, how y'all doing? There are so many self-inflicted, traumatized individuals in the world, okay? And I need you to follow where I'm going. There are individuals who are traumatized, okay? And they're traumatized to the point where the only way they can make themselves feel good is by creating false lives, false realities, and also creating false personalities. Okay? Guys, there are individuals who are amongst us who have personalities that they've created in their minds. And in their minds, they might be Donald Trump, or they might be Barack Obama, or they just might be God. And those are the individuals that you have to really be mindful and be careful of, because they are dangerous. Okay? What that means is we have to teach our children that they are special, okay? That they are significant for who they are. They don't have to be perfect to be special, okay? And all the time, being known isn't the answer. Sometimes it's best to be in the backdrop rather than to be seen. Because sometimes when you're seen, everything that you're doing is seen. And everything that you're doing may not be in decency and in order and in conjunction with what you may be trying to present. So you have to be careful, you have to be mindful, you have to be prayerful, and you have to be watchful. And that's just a little bit. That's just a teeny weeny bit. Okay? So let's keep going. So let's talk a little bit about where we're going in 2017, 2018. Where we're going in 2017, 2018 is trying wholeheartedly to bring people together, okay? But we're trying to bring people together in decency and in order, okay? What that means is this. That means that anybody who is not in the business of providing self-help, self-evaluation, and self-reflection, you might not be able to ride on this ship, because we are at a position where we will not self-destruct. We will continue to self-assess, self-evaluate, and self-reflect. And once we've done those things, then we can begin to self-adjust. That's just a little bit of where I want to go. Thank you, Onika. What I really need you guys to understand is we are living in a world where everybody is out for themselves. People are using innocent people to make a legacy. You do not have a legacy if it's built on a lie. You do not have a legacy if it's built on wicked and ill intentions. You do not have a legacy if it's built on cheating and stealing and lying and even killing. You can only build a legacy in decency and in order, and when in accordance and in alignment with your God-given purpose, not your self-made purpose. Because 9 times out of 10, if you are in self, you will self-destruct. And one thing about self-destruction is that self-destruction is so bad and is so wicked and is so detrimental that when you self-destruct, guys, most individuals that self-destruct end up committing suicide. Most individuals that self-destruct end up committing suicide. And the reason that they end up committing suicide is because they cannot deal with coming to grips with the truth about the lies and the deceit and things that they may have built their life upon. If you are a friend to someone out there who you feel is deceptive, and who cheats and lies and steals and might even kill, you need to tell them as a friend, I'm worried about you. I'm worried that your self-destruction is drawing nigh. And I want to save you. Somebody out there has a friend who is ready to self-destruct. Somebody out there has a friend who believes that they are God and sits right beside God, not under God. They believe that they can work powers like him. And you know what? You need to be careful too. Because you need to understand that all of those individuals who align themselves with that fallen angel, look at what happened to Judas. What happened to Judas? Somebody out there tell me what happened to Judas. Guys, self-destruction is real. Think about it like this. Every mass killing that we've had in the United States came from an individual who was mentally unstable. And after they committed the mass killing, what did they do? They turned the gun on themselves because at that point, they had self-destructed. Self-destructed, guys. This self-destruction is real. Self-destruction doesn't always mean suicide. Sometimes self-destruction comes in just being reckless, reckless driving, reckless sex, reckless eating. You can self-destruct in a lot of different ways. I charge you, embrace your friends, embrace your colleagues, embrace your collaborators and partners, and let them know self-destruction is real and it's no fun task. And I feel sorry for some of you because what's happening is you are associates to this self-destructive behavior. And if you don't be careful, if you are not careful, those demons of self-destruction are going to invade your lives. And if you aren't extremely careful, it's going to skip over you and it's going to impact your children because you're putting your children in harm's way. You're putting your children in harm's way. Suffer the little children to come unto me. That means God, not those who are pretending to be God. And Onika, yes, the devil and the spirit got on them. The devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. And still, the devil is stealing, honey. Let me tell you something. That devil is taking on. I don't know. I don't know what we are doing as a people. I don't know what has happened to my African American brothers and sisters. But the devil has taken over. Okay? But let me tell you something. Y'all let him take over. He's not going to take over my spirit. He's not going to take over my mind. And let me tell you a little tale. Let me tell you a little story, as my grandma used to say. A story. I once decided that I wanted to help people. Okay? And so, I was just reaching out to everybody. And I was just helping everybody. And I was just trying to make sure that everybody had everything they needed, right? But my mother told me, she said, Lil, she said, you helping everybody else, but what you doing for yourself? She said Negroes will use you and use you and use you till they use you up. And then you're left with nothing. Well, what I've learned to do, people, is I have learned to listen to other people who mean well and who mean good, and to embrace their spirit of discernment. So see, I have a 50, and when I'm embracing everybody else, she's sitting back watching. And she's making sure that I don't embrace the wrong demon. Now, we can admit, I think we both can admit that in the past few months, we've gotten sucker punched a couple of times. We've gotten sucker punched a couple of times. But we also understand that sometimes God will put you in places you need to be in so that you can be a recipient of his revelation and clarity. Sometimes God will put you in place and in position so that you can be a recipient of his revelation. Huh? Crickets. Crickets. I don't know. I don't know what to say to you guys. And the reason I don't know what to say to you guys is because, hi, Miss Cinnamon, how are you? The reason I don't know what to say to you guys is because I feel for some of you who will do any and everything to be a queen or a king in the eyes of man. But what you won't do is you won't stand up to the devil, and you won't tell the devil, or you won't tell that image, that idol God. You won't tell that idol God, you are the devil. You are the truth. You are not the truth. You are a lie, and the truth is nowhere in you, and you are on the road to self-destruction, and you cannot be healed because you are sick. His stripes cannot heal you because you are wicked. You need to purge. You need to purge. Those of you dealing with the devil need to purge. You need to go in the bathroom right now, and you need to stick your finger as far down your throat as you can and purge, because I'm telling you, there are those of you out there who are aligned with the devil himself. And let me tell you something. The devil now, he walks on two legs. The devil doesn't have 8 heads. Okay, let me tell you about the 8 heads. See, that's right, Chelsea, wicked. Wicked. Let me tell you, he's wicked. But let me tell you about this devil. See, it really all started when that 6th trumpet sounded. When that 6th trumpet sounded, that's when all the wicked and the changes in the world came about. When that 6th trumpet sounded, that's when women start changing. That's when men start changing. At the sound of that 6th trumpet, that's when our kids start killing us. That's when our kids start cussing us. That's when our kids start disrespecting teachers. And that's when men became fools. And I'm telling you, we are living under the sound of the 6th trumpet. You have people walking around here declaring to be God. And you know what's sad? Some of you weak-minded individuals are worshiping these folks. You know what's sad? Y'all walking around here like y'all living in 8-bedroom houses in Short Pump. And I ain't gonna talk about where you're really living, but I'm just saying. But y'all putting these men, you buying them Benzes and you buying them BMWs. And then the funniest of you are walking around calling yourselves evangelists and prophetess and prophets and bishops. Let me tell y'all something. If you didn't walk alongside God, you ain't no doggone apostle. out the foolishness. Cut it out. You cannot live by the cloth and swear by the cloth and be stealing from people and cheating from people and not giving them their due. See, I'm tired. I'm tired of y'all so-called Christians playing church. I curse. I might even have a sip when I get ready. But guess what else I do? But let a man examine himself before he eats of that bread and drink of that cup. And so I self-examine. I self-reflect and I self-assess. And I charge my 50 to do the same thing. Because sometimes we do it together. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you think you are. Because see, some of y'all walking around with your nose stuck so far in the air, you can't even smell the hellacious fire burning. You right, Onika, repent, but guess what? Before you can repent, you got to admit that you are a sinner. You got to admit that you are wicked. You got to admit to all the nasty, low-down things that you've done behind closed doors. All the nasty, low-down things that you've done when you thought nobody was looking and you thought nobody was watching and you thought nobody knew. But what you forgot is that one person that you casted down, that you casted out, that you tried to turn people against, they knew you. And they not gonna forget you. And your secrets are not buried if they're dead and gone. See, your secrets yet live. Because there's always somebody that knows. Somebody that understands who you are. See, social media has allowed us to become celebrities, have allowed some of us to become self-proclaimed preachers, evangelists, prophetess, beauty queens with your Photoshop pictures. But what social media has not allowed you to do is allow people to see who you really are. Allow people to see how when you go home in the evening, that you and your husband don't sleep in the same bed. That you and your husband aren't equally yoked. Because you may be forcing your husband or your husband may be forcing you to be a woman or man of the cloth. See, what y'all need to understand is this. Everybody is not oblivious to who you really are. And it's not called judging. It's called having common sense. See, that's one thing y'all people need to understand. All y'all Christians out there. What y'all need to understand is this. And y'all not Christians. Y'all just churchgoers. And y'all showboaters. But what you need to understand is this. God gives you knowledge and he gives you wisdom. That knowledge and wisdom that he gives you is simply common sense. And y'all don't have sense enough to use your common sense to figure out who is wicked and who's not. I'm struggling right now. I'm struggling because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about how there are people that are watching right now that I have defended wholeheartedly, only to find out that you got some severe infirmities just like the people that you talk about. You are fraudulent. Fraudulent. Just as bad as these people walking around putting their faces on other people's bodies. Fraudulent. Stop it. There is enough room out here for all of us to get a piece of the pie. What's the problem? What's the problem? I don't quite understand. I just don't understand why you cannot accept the fact that everybody isn't going to like what you do. But if you're doing what you're doing in decency and in order, it doesn't matter. But when you out here stepping on people and beating down people and talking about people, you can't get nowhere like that, babies. Now I'm talking to y'all like I talk to my students. You can't get nowhere like that, babies. You can't. Because what happens is you get into a position of meism. Okay? And it's a sad situation when you get into a position of meism. Because what happens then is that you forget whose you are. And you start to think that you're making it in this world all by yourself. But I got news for you. Somebody's watching you. And it's somebody bigger than you. And it's somebody bigger than me. But let me tell you what he does. He has little laborers and little lay persons. And he has them in the capacity of investigators, messengers, researchers, reviewers, judges, lawyers, doctors, plastic surgeons. And do you know he puts these people here for a reason? He puts them here because he knows that some of us are so infatuated with self that we're going to need the police, the lawyers, the judges, the plastic surgeons, and everything. Yeah. But you know, I'm not going to go any deeper because I'm going to let this synthesize and I'm going to let it marinate. And I want you to try in your hardest mind to self-evaluate, self-assess, self-reflect, and figure out what it is that you need to do to rid yourself and cleanse yourself of wicked-minded individuals, wicked-minded situations, wicked-minded partnerships, wicked-minded collaborations. And you better rid yourself of that devil, because that devil is coming for you. He thought he was coming for me, but thanks be to God, I ran. And because I ran, I am at peace. And because I ran, God sends messengers and God sends angels in the midnight hour to make sure that I'm okay. You need to pray to God for clarity and revelation, that he will reveal to you who these people are in your situation and get them out of your life. And you know what? He just might wipe them off the face of this earth. So you need to be mindful, be watchful, be vigilant, but always be steadfast, unmovable, knowing that Christ is the first, he is the last, and he is omnipresent, he is omnipotent, and he is omniscient. And that means that he is all-knowing, all-present, and he is all around. Have a great evening, guys. Let it marinate, and I hope that you have peace and blessings.